until I was about 23, and I got a DHL courier flight.
Oh, you know what the scam was in those days?
I do.
I know you do. For those of you old enough to remember, in those days, they would let you take any commercial flight you could take if you worked for these courier companies, but you gave away your baggage allowance.
That's right.
And then
you're allowed one carry-on.
And that was it.
Was free.
And the trip was free.
Their cargo went as a passenger's excess baggage. So you would give them the luggage tags. At the end, there was a guy in Zurich or wherever, whichever city you were going to, with a DHL sign. You'd hand them the thing, and you had 2 weeks to do what you wanted. And I did that like 3 times. I even brought, my girlfriend. I left on a Tuesday. She left on the same flight Wednesday, and we went to Paris, and we went to Italy, and it was great, and it worked out because she then married me.
And I think she's here today.
She is. Where's Monica? Do you know Monica?
There she is.
From Everybody Loves Raymond? She played Amy. That's her. Yes. There's actually an interesting story how she got the part on Everybody Loves Raymond. She slept with the producer. And we were already married at the time, so that was very
okay.
unusual.
That was okay, yes.
Yes. But she's in Somebody Feed Phil with me, and my daughter Lily is here too, and she's in the show with me, and so's my son Ben. Where are you?
We're all
guys?
here.
You're all back there. Look how nice, the family. Yes.
All right, so from DHL,
Yes.
where you had no control of your schedule.
You're right, but I didn't care. It just got in deep. If you travel at that age, or any age really, you realize that, I realized very quickly, this is what your extra money is for. It's not for buying things. It's for buying life experiences, because I know I'm preaching to the choir, but it literally changes your perspective on life, right? You go and you come back with something invaluable.
And we've come full circle because during the pandemic, people got up close and personal with their own mortality. They didn't want to buy material things anymore, new cars, new clothes, new jewelry. They wanted, just like you said, they wanted to buy experiences.
I think that's great.
And that's what's happening.
And you're all so nice. And I think we have to export nice, right?
Especially now.
Especially now. Listen, I think most people are great in the world. If you like the show, I'm not showing you a world that could be. I'm showing you the world as it is, right? That's how I find it. We don't make anything up. That's how the people are. Even in America, most people are very nice. I'll say this about a generalization about the world. Most people are so much better than their governments.
You knew you were going to get applause for that one.
Cheap and easy. But it's true. Don't you think? Most people are great. When we see the news and we see how terrible the news is, it's only on there because it's news. In other words, it's the unusual.
Yeah.
That's what makes it on the news, the terrible thing, because that's not how the world usually is. But you guys know the world is nice and great and beautiful.
And so, from DHL,
Yes.
you kept traveling.
I did keep traveling. I again, every spare dime I had went into that little jar for travel.
Can you remember, there are 196 countries in the world.
Yes, I haven't been to all of them.
Do you have an idea how many?
How many countries?
No, there are 196 countries in the world. Do you keep a list of how many you've been to?
No, but I know that this past year, I think I was in 50 different cities at least, because I do the live tour, and we filmed the new season of the show.
Coming up soon.
It's coming soon. I can't tell you when. There's going to be an announcement, though, I can tell you, on Tuesday, if you look at on my socials. That'll be, and I'm not supposed to tell you where we go, but this is the travel show, and I feel like I want to. All right, just don't tell anybody. We go to Mumbai, yes, Dubai.
All the eyes.
It's the bye-bye tour. Kyoto, one of the most beautiful places in the world. Taipei, yes?
Unbelievable food in Taipei.
Unbelievable. Scotland,
Did you have haggis?
Of course, I like it.
You like it?
I do. Listen, a chef...
With enough single malt whiskey, you can like haggis.
And I had a lot of that too. But, you know, haggis is, it's all depends on the chef, right? There's great and there's terrible. I had a lot of great. We all liked it. It was really good.
Wow.
It's all about spices, right? Most of the world cuisine comes from very, very cheap ingredients, like the stomach lining of somebody.
The haggis.
And it's a vehicle for the spices.
So with enough spices, cardboard's looking pretty good.
Well, yeah. So there's the, did I say everything? Scotland, Iceland, oh, and 2 American cities. Washington, D.C. and Orlando. Yes, believe it or not, Orlando.
Orlando without the theme parks.
No, we don't set foot in the theme park. Well, here's what I learned about Orlando. It's not what you expect. Even the tourism board said, oh, you want, come, we'll show you around, we'll take you to, you know, we have food from all over the world. They took me to Epcot. And then the editor, the food editor of the Orlando Sentinel said, I can't believe they did that. Come with me, I'm gonna take you around. Well, it turns out that Disney has hired tens of thousands of immigrants over the last 50 years, and they've all set up neighborhoods with their cultures and their cuisines, and the food is amazing. So I get to say, yes, you can come to Disney World and go to all the theme parks and you'll have a great time. But the real Magic Kingdom is the real world outside.
The best Lebanese
Yes.
food I've had was in Orlando.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite episodes because it's such a surprise.
And by the way, if you go back to I'll Have What Phil's Having, before you got to Somebody Feed Phil,
Yes,
way before Stanley Tucci discovered or rediscovered Italy, you were piloting a gondola.
that's right, Tucci, that's right.
But is there a place that, you know, we always see the situation where you had your hopes set high and you got to a place and you were disappointed, or a place you were going that you said, why am I going here? And like Orlando, you got blown away.
Well, you know, I hear Iceland is cold,
Yes.
so I wasn't as excited to go, even though people told me it was a beautiful place. Who's been to Iceland? Wow, maybe you guys should have the show. It was spectacular, and I thought the food was great too. Best smoked salmon of my life, right?
Yep.
There's even a guy there in Reykjavik who came from, did he come from New York? That guy who made the great burgers and stuff and the great
Hot dog,
desserts.
there's a hot dog place there too.
Well, the hot dogs are amazing.
Yeah.
That's something in Scandinavia, the hot dogs,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I love them. So that was great. And in the past, you know, I didn't know Vietnam would be so spectacular. Who's been to Vietnam? I love you guys.
You have
It's
travelers
awesome.
in this audience today.
Yes, I see. So I grew up, my frame of reference was Apocalypse Now and the news, right? And the Deer Hunter and all those movies. And then I get there and they're the loveliest, sweetest people and the food is unbelievable. So that's another reason to travel because it changes your preconceptions of.
Well, speaking of preconceptions, is there a place you went to where you were disappointed?
Never. There's certain dishes that I wouldn't eat again.
For example,
Well, people say it looks like you like everything.
well,
that
you said
eat.
haggis.
Yes, I like everything I put in the show. I'm not out to hurt somebody's business. I'm just one guy. If I don't like it, you may love it. So I don't want to do that, and I only have a limited number of minutes to show you the best stuff. So that's what I want to do. But
Yes.
there was the 1,000-year-old egg in Hong Kong. That
What was it? What was in it?
the first thing you taste is very, very rotten egg. And then you taste ammonia. Yes, I don't recommend it. But I ate an entire half an egg. I just popped it in my mouth because I'm hilarious.
Well, also because you're on camera, you
It was
gotta
at
do
this,
it.
yes,
You gotta
it
do
tends
it.
to make you a little braver in a stupid way. I did turn down one thing on camera, and that was in Mexico. I was at a great restaurant in Oaxaca, and the specialty there was iguana. And I was saying to my companion, "Are you going to eat the iguana?" And the chef heard me. She was right across the counter, and she said, "Oh, you would like iguana?" And I went, "Oh, And she pointed to it, and there it was on the counter. It was already blackened. It had the tail.
As you do.
And the body and the face like this. And I went, I don't know. And she said, well, if you want it, it's going to take a half an hour to prepare. And I'm not proud of this, but I said, oh, look at the time. Yeah. So she said, but if you're in a hurry, how about this? And she reached under the counter, and my hand to God, she pulled out, it's in the show, a bowl of living, moving beetles. Yes. And I don't want to offend any culture or anybody. But what flew out of my mouth at that moment was, oh, no, 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 no. And I ran away.
And you did?
Yeah, so I didn't eat that. There was a dish called puree in Santiago. Anybody ever have puree? Any Chileans in the audience? That is like, it's like eating a bottle of iodine. It's a sea creature. And they gave me a glop of it in my hand, and I put the whole thing in my mouth because I'm an idiot. And that hit me hard, yeah.
Now you have to know that, Phil and I know this, I mean, I travel all over the world as he does, but everywhere I've been going over the last 2 years, every time I show up in a kitchen, there's his photo.
Oh, yes.
I was just in Montreal.
They're like, look out for this guy.
Oh, no. I was in Montreal at a legendary delicatessen called Schwartz's.
I know it well.
I know you know it well. And over there, I mean, I grew up here in New York, and my idea of a great sandwich was a hot pastrami and Swiss on rye with Russian dressing.
Yes.
There, they don't call it hot pastrami on rye, they call it smoked meat.
Yes, they do.
And you can't find Russian dressing, it's just mustard.
It's pretty great, though.
It is great.
It's tender and juicy and thick slice, right? It's pretty great.
All right, so I have to ask you this question. We can solve this because you're in New York now. Who's got the best bagels, Montreal or New York?
I'm going to say something controversial, and I don't want you to hurt me. In Los Angeles, hear me out. There's a place that opened, 2 years now? Who's been to Courage Bagels? Anyone?
No.
I get to tell you something you should know. This is the best bagel I've ever had in my life. And I bring people from New York, and I'm a New York snob just like you. And I was very skeptical.
You said it perfectly, just like you.
You, yes. I had this bagel, and they're not using the New York bagel as a model. They're not even using the Montreal bagel as a model. They're using a baguette as a model. So you get a thin, crispy exterior with a soft, fluffy interior. And it is sensational. Courage Bagels. And I am not an owner.
Although I will tell you, I'm sort of siding on Montreal, only because they roll everything by hand.
A little sweeter.
They use honey in the water.
Yes.
And they do it on wood-fired.
Very nice.
Beautiful, yeah.
But there's listen, depends what you like. You want the thick, chewy New York bagel, it's phenomenal. You're in the center of the world for that. But if you want to try something new,
I got it.
okay.
So now, speaking of trying something new, what's on your bucket list?
Where haven't I been that I need to go?
Yeah.
Well, I've only been to Mumbai in India, and after that taste of it, I'd like to go back and see some more. I haven't been to mainland China. I haven't been to Shanghai. I'd love to go there. There's so many places. I haven't been to Peru yet, and I hear Lima is now the food center of the world. Who's been there?
Wow.
I have to go, yes? All right, I will. You just call Netflix and say you need me to go there.
But in terms of bucket list...
Are we going somewhere after this?
Where?
Well, I see luggage. What's happening?
It's a prop.
Oh, okay.
It's a prop.
Oh, that's the set.
Yes, you understand the set.
How theatrical.
Would you like to take the set home?
I'm going to dance with them later.
On a wish list basis.
Yes.
Right, we talked about Peru, everything else.
Yes.
But you grew up here in New York. Where was the first place you absolutely wanted to go growing up in New York?
My parents had the Time Life books of countries. And I used to...
Does anybody remember those books? Oh, wow, okay.
Look at the pictures, even as a little kid, and dream about going to... I remember Rome being so beautiful and exotic to me. And Italy, if you ask me what my favorite place is in the world, I'm afraid it's Italy.
Because?
Well, every place you look is gorgeous. Every bite of food to me is delicious. And everybody is hugging and kissing you, so what's not to like, right? So I don't know. Sometimes you have an affinity for a place. Maybe you were there in another life or something. I don't know. But I just feel like it's both awesome and comfortable.
Well, do you ever feel that you've been, in a past life, you lived somewhere?
No. I don't believe in any of that. I just feel like it's a feeling that I have when I'm there. Absolutely. Who's singing? Trying to talk. This is a really conducive to public speaking, this giant open convention center with 3 other things happening at the same time.
Did your parents dress you up to travel?
No.
No.
They could barely dress me up to come to breakfast. Yeah, no, we didn't, no. I didn't have that kind of restriction, no.
But how has travel changed for you?
How has it changed for me?
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid and had no money, I sat in coach in the back. And now I lie down. I've earned it, and I'm old. I need to lie down.
But that brings up the subject of airline food.
Okay, some airline food, especially, I don't want to...
You can name names.
I don't want to disparage any American carriers.
We could disparage them all.
No, I don't want to.
Okay.
But the international airlines, they're a branch of the tourism board, right? They're funded by the country, right?
In many cases.
So they make sure that I don't have to tell you guys, you know. It's very nice. Even in coach on the foreign airlines, pretty nice, right?
And on the U.S. airlines?
Not so much.
No, unless you like Biscoff cookies.
It's okay. It's all good. Listen, when you're young, you can put up with anything. You'll sit in coach, you'll suffer and suffer and suffer because once you're there, and then it's fantastic, and you don't have to have a lot of money. You can go to Paris, right? Stay in a youth hostel and have a baguette and a piece of cheese and sit in the park, and you're in paradise, and you're as good as anybody out there, right?
And then you want to lie down.
Well, I have to. Yes. In fact, I'll be lying down after this. All this energy.
Well, before we get to that part,
Yes.
when you think of food itself,
Yes.
and you're going to all these foreign destinations, is food itself the language?
Food is this, I always say food is the great connector.
Common denominator.
It's the great connector. It's how, we can't kill each other if we're eating together, right? And everybody does it in the world. So it's something we already have in common. And then if the food is delicious, we're already happy. And if we share a laugh, now we're friends and we'll eat again. That's the whole point of my thing. That's what I love. And that's my social life, is eating.
Now, when you were producing Everybody Loves Raymond,
Yes.
did you ever envision yourself doing a show like this?
No. But the show has its roots in Raymond, because I asked Ray Romano after season 1, I think, where he was going on his vacation, and he said, I go to the Jersey Shore. I said, well, that's nice. Have you ever been to Europe? And he said, no. I said, why not? He goes, I'm not really interested in different. And I said, right there, oh, we got to do that episode. He goes, what do you mean? I go, we're going to do an episode where we take you to Italy with that attitude. You go as you, and you come back as me. Someone excited about travel. And it took him like 3 years just to convince him to get on a plane. He didn't even want to fly. He was a little afraid. But then when he got to Italy, this arc of the character that I wrote, that he goes reluctant to go, but then gets woke. I saw that happen to Ray Romano, the person. Phil, have you had gelato? Yeah, he was all excited. And right then and there, I thought, oh, this feeling of turning your friend on to something you love so much, that's the greatest feeling in the world. And I thought, what if I could do this for other people? So I stayed on Raymond all 9 years. And then the business of sitcoms changed during that time, and I needed to do something. And I thought,
You needed to get out of the house.
well, yeah, my wife wanted me out of the house, but I had this dream of this kind of travel thing. And do you know, it took me 10 years to get the show on the air. Yes, 10 years. They don't just hand these things out. But I sold it first to PBS, and I sold it with one line. You want to hear the line? This is the actual line I used to sell the show. I said, I'm exactly like Anthony Bourdain if he was afraid of everything. Yes. And I guess it worked.
It did. And then you transitioned, because that only lasted one season on PBS.
Six episodes, but we won the James Beard Award for that show. Yes, very nice. And then here came Netflix. And I've been on there since.
Wow. Is there anything about your travel experience that you'd like to change?
I just want to keep doing it. That's what I tell Netflix. Just let me keep going. But they have money issues.
You want to explain?
No.
I didn't think so. Okay. But what advice would you give to everybody here based on your show?
I think I said it, right? The world is nice. Save your money for this because it's worth it. And those of you who've done it already know that. And for those of you who's never traveled, who's here at the travel show as if you're at the zoo seeing exotic creatures? No, I want you to go to somewhere that, sometimes it's great to go when you know nothing about the place. You saw a picture or you saw an episode of Somebody Feed Phil, right? And you say, that looks good. Who's traveled because they saw an episode of my show?
Look at that.
This makes me so happy. That's everything to me. I know you liked it because what's not to like about it?
Exactly. How many people here have a passport?
All right, you're already in the top 1/3 of the country.
That's it.
2/3 of Americans don't have a passport.
They do not have a passport.
And I think we'd be in better shape as a country if we all traveled more.
I can't tell you how many people I know who say, I got everything I want here in Kansas. I don't want to go.
Okay,
I know.
good for them.
I remember seeing one guy on the Strip in Las Vegas with his arm around his girlfriend at the faux Bridge of Sighs in front of the Venetian,
Yeah.
saying, baby, I've been to Venice. This is better.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So
Hilarious.
that's sad.
I was in Orlando, and I was talking to the audience, and I said, they have the Eiffel Tower at Epcot, but you know where it's really beautiful? And the guy went, Las Vegas.
Yeah, I know. How many people here don't have a passport? Come on.
We're going to sign you up for one today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you go to a country where there's a language issue,
Yes.
how do you deal with that?
I make faces. I find that if you know thank you in the language, that covers a lot of territory. And good news for us, a lot of people speak English in the world. So we can be lazy.
So, in addition to the book, the Somebody Feed Phil book,
Yes.
there's a new book coming out.
Yes, I wrote a children's book with my daughter Lily. It's about a dad who eats everything and his little girl who doesn't eat anything. And it's called Just Try It. And that comes out the same week as season 7. Yes,
So what is she eating now that she didn't used to eat?
everything. She now turns me on to stuff. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite food?
A favorite food? Yes, pizza.
Wait, let's dig deeper. What kind of pizza?
Oh man, this week I was at Raza again in Jersey City. I think that's awesome. There's a place I haven't tried yet that started in Brooklyn and just opened in Manhattan called La Industrie. Anybody been there? Is it great? So I'll be there soon. And listen, Mama's 2 on the Upper West Side at 106th and Broadway. He's my buddy. I love that place. Una Pizza Napolitana in the East Village is pretty awesome. We have so much great pizza. And LA now is a great pizza town.
Okay, I have to ask this question. We talked about bagels.
Yes.
Yes or no? Pineapple on pizza.
If you like it, who cares? Is that the wrong answer?
No, that's a political answer.
Live your life, people. Put whatever you want on your pizza. Pizza is a canvas. You can put anything on there. There's dessert pizza. Whatever
actually,
you want.
Actually, in I think one place in South Carolina, there's a Krispy Kreme pizza.
That's disgusting.
Thank you. Do you cook?
No. I inherited that from my parents. Yes, no. But there's no bigger fan of chefs than me. And listen, you know, I meet some of the great chefs in the world, right? They can't write a sitcom. So we all contribute in our way, right? I don't have to cook. I appreciate you doing it. And if you want a sitcom, come to me.
Is Ray Romano traveling now?
He is. And he goes to Italy almost every year because his wife's family's from there. And they go. And it's wonderful. And we travel together now every year. We go to Mexico every year, the whole family. Yeah.
Where in Mexico?
We love Los Cabos. And it's perfect for a family vacation because you're centered at one place. There's the beach, and then there are the towns to the north and the south. And we go, I plan all the restaurants that we're going to eat at. It's really fun.
And of course, for those of you who've experienced great Mexican food, you know it's not just tortilla and tamales. Oh my God.
And every region of Mexico is as diversified as anywhere on earth.
Are you a fan of mole?
Of course. I love the mole negro and the red mole and the green mole. I love them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there a Mexican food you won't eat?
The iguana. Yeah. And the Beatles. Yeah.
No Beatles.
Please. Listen, I've eaten my share of bugs on the show. I don't seek it out, but I did, the first one was in Tokyo. They gave me a salad and it had ants on it, like what looked like big black carpenter ants. And at first I thought we should call the exterminator. And they said, no, these ants taste like lemon. And I said, oh, if it's lemon flavor we're going for, maybe some lemon? They said, you got to try it. So I did, and it took all the courage I could muster to bite down on that thing, and it was like somebody put a lemon drop on my tongue. And so, of course, all the questions then become, okay, what do you base these in lemon? Is that why they taste so lemony and nice? And he said, no, this ant from this particular part of the forest in this particular part of Japan, these taste like lemon. Who the hell found that out?
Well, in Australia once they made me eat Aboriginal grub. That was not fun.
The
bug.
white
Yeah,
grub worms?
Yeah.
I am not doing that.
Good idea. Not a good idea.
How'd it taste?
Like lemon. No. No, but the point is, at a certain point, you have to figure out what kind of drink can I drink with this to hide what it's going to taste like.
Well, in Iceland, everyone was asking, are you to do the putrefied shark? And I said, no, because I saw the Bourdain episode where he ate it and then immediately threw up. So thank you, Mr. Bourdain, for taking that hit for me. I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. And the excuse for it is you get to drink this liqueur right after. So I said, can we just cut to that? Yeah.
And in Greenland, they do the thing with the whale, which is terrible.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, you don't want to know that one.
Okay.
All right.
There's so many beautiful things to eat. You don't have to eat the gross things.
I know, but I'm just going through the entire repertoire.
Yes. There is listen, if you're adventurous and you want to do that, go ahead, but it's not me. I'm not Andrew Zimmern.
Ah, okay.
Who's very, very brave and is a great chef himself, but for some reason he likes all that stuff.
Yeah. Anybody here like that stuff? Not a single hand.
This person, good for you. You too, good for you.
At the end of the day, are you giving Netflix the ideas for the shows, or are they giving you the ideas for the shows?
They don't have any ideas. They have ideas on marketing and stuff like that. That's what they do. But, the great thing about them is I have a total freedom. Once they say yes to letting me do episodes, can go wherever I want. That's beautiful.
So you've gone all over the world. Have you been back to Queens?
Of course.
For the show?
Not yet, but hopefully we're on long enough that I can do that. We did a New York episode, and I think we went to Queens. We went to the wonderful pizza place, Defara.
We're back to